Sweet, and we're live. So welcome everyone to Celestia Core Devs Call 22. It's 15th of January 2025, so Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had a break and were able to take one, or a good break. So for the agenda, we're going to first do some working groups updates, and then we'll jump to updates focused on bigger blocks on Mocha and mainnet beta. So first, if someone from the DA working group could give a brief update. There's two topics here. One is maybe a different reconstruction window that would be different than the sampling window, I believe, to improve light node requirements. And then I believe Vlad has also made progress on an efficient reconstruction protocol. That's all I know at a high level. If you want to add more context, Vlad, that would be great.
Well, yeah, the reconstruction window is something that will greatly improve light node requirements. We still need to discuss on what this window can be and how it's going to be implemented. And it's a topic for the next DA working group call. So we'll have updates on the next core dev call on results and how it's going to be implemented.
Cool. And could you remind me, please, when that next working group call is?
Next week.
Sweet. And if anyone wants to join that, is there, I forget, is it a Slack channel for that?
Yeah, there is a Slack channel for it. I will post the announcement of the call there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And for the reconstruction protocol, is that also something that'll just be covered in that working group? Because it's still a
Eventually, yes, but not for the next call. It's still work in progress on a draft proposal for the efficient protocol for reconstruction. Once we have it, we'll also discuss it in the DA working group.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, just flagging again for anyone who wants to join that working group, maybe you're not in the right Slack. If you just ping the Telegram chat that we're all in, we can get you to the right place. I think that should cover it from the DA working group. I'll leave a few seconds for anyone to jump in if they have anything else. And if not, we'll go to the interface working group. I think maybe Ismail is the right person to give this update. I might be off there. Could you give us an update, someone from the interface working group, on the
there has been some progress on the canonical API work, but it's a minimal version of that. So I had this draft PR in the past with a CIP that completely revamps the API, and fortunately, luckily, Vlad has taken this on and has a minimal gRPC API instead. So there's a draft PR in Node, which is not meant to be merged, but is meant to be discussed there. After that, I assume we get some feedback from external teams as well, more so in an interface working group call, which those haven't happened in a quite a while because there was literally no progress made. So it's good that this has been picked up now by Vlad, and Callum to some extent is pushing it. Yeah.
Sweet.
I
And
think
I
it would be
guess
good if that PR by Vlad would also be reviewed by others on this call if they're interested.
well, if someone has that link handy, actually, could you please drop it in the chat? I don't want to jump around too much on the screen share. And then I guess Ismail had a kind of a question there. It sounds like once that draft PR has been reviewed more, then we can work a little bit more on the CIP side of things to basically like detail all that out. Is that right? Or
Yes,
is,
but
yeah.
also I think that API, so while there's this draft PRs for discussion, there will be actually, I mean, Vlad can correct me if I'm wrong, and he has more context on that particular work stream. But I think that should go into a separate repository instead. So it doesn't even require a CIP because it's an external thing. But I think it would still make sense to bring attention to that work, to add a CIP and make it part of like the canonical in the sense that people know this is how I supposed to interact with the API way. Um, yeah, I think a CIP would still make sense as a follow-up.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So the plan is
Yeah.
just to have like something implemented to start the discussion, to spark the discussion, so we can have uh, um, like points we can look into and evaluate if they work or not, and then we can create a CAP out of the draft later.
Cool. Yeah, no rush on that. I guess the priority here, again, just flagging for anyone watching, is the draft PR to Celestia node itself. Yeah, thank you, Vlad, for going into that, Ismail as well. I think then there's been a draft or a pull request made by Callum to add some implementation details, basically make some modifications to CIP 18. So if that's relevant to you, including myself, please review that. I don't think Callum's here, so I don't think we can really get an update. I don't want to spend too
We're
much.
currently working on this week
Yeah.
for like a default. So I believe Rashid, if he's on the call, is working on it. But at the moment, like the default isn't meant to be a end all. It's supposed to be that anyone can sort of fit in their own solution. The default is going to be extremely simple. It's just going to be like the average or the median gas price, or the average or the median gas price plus or minus some standard deviation. So then the user can do with that as they see fit, like for the fast or the slow or the median or something. But that's it. That's it. It's quite simple. The server, like the RPC server, is being added to the application. And the most important part is like if anyone has any other information on the API, or if the API works for them or doesn't work for them, that's like the most crucial thing to fix, to get information on. So if anyone has anything on that, then that would be extremely helpful before we start to ship this, so that we can avoid having like some methods that no one uses.
Did we run this by any users?
I haven't spoken to users directly. I'm not sure on that. I think Colin might have more info there.
I'm curious if this lines up at all with what Diego's been working on to try and figure out like what methods are used out there. I feel like it's a little bit tangential, but maybe not directly related. But I can make a note to talk to our basically biggest users and figure out their perspective on this and what would be best for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could also touch base with Callum to see if he has done anything about that. Updates from ZK working group, I think this week we don't have anything. I'll leave a few seconds for anyone to jump in if that's incorrect. I think we can expect an update next time. And
Quickly on the
Yeah.
reason for the rush on the gRPC thing for gas price, I believe that's for in the case that blocks do get full, that there needs to be something. So even if it's not perfect at first, that's okay. So just to add more context as to why we're working on it now, before at least we have like a very concrete idea of everything. Although I do believe someone has, I believe initially Colm spoke with someone about it. I just, we'd have to talk with him.
Cool. Thank you again, Evan, for the context. I have a bullet to update on 8 megabyte blocks on Mocha. I think this has been live. I don't actually know how long it's been live now, but it seems like everything has been working as expected. I think Rutul was working on trying to fill some blocks up. I was as well, with the transaction simulator. But as far as I know, we haven't seen any issues. I guess since a lot of the Celestia node team is here and a lot of the Celestia app team is here, or core. Curious if anyone has seen issues that would block us from moving forward next week with 8 MB blocks on mainnet beta.
Hi, this is Brutal.
What up?
So you're spot on. 8 MB blocks have been on Mocha for like about a week. I think it was Tuesday of last week. We didn't really see any issues, and then I started spamming it last night. So they were really like the blocks were heavily utilized in like the last 24 hours, and POps actually noticed a few issues. So I'm looking into them right now. I don't think anything's like blocking, but that's just a minor update on that.
And that was like with the max message send and receive parameters, or is it something else?
Right. So that was one issue that we discovered, which is basically that if you request a block using like the Celestia apps endpoint for get block at a particular height, it'll give you back all of the data in that block. And if the block is big, aka roughly about like 5 MB or larger, then we hit a like gRPC max message size limit that was previously the default. So we've bumped that limit to now 20 MB, just so that if they're 8 MB blocks, we won't hit that limit. That's like a config change that operators can make on Mocha today, and we modified the default for it. But then there were some other issues that were kind of discovered last night that we're looking into.
Sweet. I guess, are any of those issues something that would block the plan for mainnet? Should we, I guess, err on the side of caution there and just leave this TBD for now?
Yeah, very TBD.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess for mainnet beta, maybe next week, but we'll go ahead and keep the community updated, I guess, in the Discord and in our announcement channel. I think that's most everything for today. I wanted to just get a vibe check from everyone here instead of just deciding when the next call is, to see what you all think we should do for the next call. I guess the clear question there is, when should we have our next call? We could do 2 weeks, we could do 3 or 4. I feel like these might not need to happen on a perfectly set schedule, but I would like to make them worth all of our time. So I guess if anyone has ideas there.
3 sounds nice.
Yeah. All right, let's do it, YOLO. So we'll meet in 3 weeks again. I believe that'll be on the 5th of February. Sweet. Is there anything else from anyone out there? Nice. Cool. Happy New Year again, everyone. Thank you for coming, and we will see you on February 5th at the same time.